Okay, I think we'll get started now because we don't really know how many people will be joining us today. And we do have 5, and that means we have we should have a voting quorum. And we have a guest, Christopher.
Yes, hi Nancy. I'm new to the town. Something I'm interested in, so I just want to take the time to participate. So if there's any voting, I don't think there's much I can vote on because I have only been around for about 4 months, but would love to just sit in and see what this is all about.
Well, you're very welcome, and you might want to, and I know you recently joined the Historical Society, and that would be something that you'd be able to take a more immediate role in, because in the Historical Commission is, just to explain, appointed by the town council. So it's got, and that's why we have voting members, and we do have a couple of non-voting members, but you're more than welcome to join us and chime in. So
yeah, absolutely happy to be a part of it, just as a participant, as a guest.
Okay, great. All right. Well, the first thing on our agenda tonight is to, or this afternoon, is to is to okay the minutes of the meeting that I emailed to you. Did you get the minutes, Mark?
Yes.
Kathleen?
Yes.
Kathlena? Therese?
Yes.
I did, yes.
Okay. Does anybody have any changes or corrections?
No, in fact, I move we accept the minutes as written.
Great, great. So I think we can just take a vote on that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Right. All right. Now, our next item on the agenda is to establish a regular meeting date. Since the very beginning of the Historical Commission, we have met on Wednesday evenings. And that's just something that we're used to. But one of our members has an irreconcilable conflict with Wednesdays. So the natural thing to do would be to give her the courtesy of thinking about why moving our day to another date. Does anybody have a problem with that?
No,
I don't.
I don't.
Kathlena?
I would just like to vote earlier in the week, if possible.
So you'd rather have it on a Monday or a Tuesday?
Correct. And
Okay.
after 4. 4 is really tough for me.
Yeah, this is an anomaly. We got bumped.
Okay.
Because there are hundreds of building meetings going on. So we got bumped from our, my fault, because I didn't apply for the Zoom thing early enough to elbow our way in. So we will not be meeting at 4 o'clock. We'll meet at 7:30, our regular meeting times. So is there a preference for Monday or Tuesday?
I would prefer Tuesday.
I
Tuesday
agree
is
with
good for
Jean.
me.
Tuesday better?
Yes.
I like Tuesdays too, yeah.
All right, should we go for the 4th Tuesday of the month and see how we do?
I would be in favor of that.
Okay. So nobody has a real conflict with it anyway. Nope.
No.
All right, let's try the 4th, and I will email everybody to make sure we have everybody's input. And then make sure that everybody knows where we stand with regard to this day of the week meeting. It's a little thing, but if it's gonna be mean someone has to get off the commission altogether, it just seems like we should certainly move it, try it. I think the only problem might be if a lot of different committees have their regular meeting date on the same day. The school committee might, the Board of Appeals. I think I've tried to check out the town's calendar to figure out what would be a light day. And I think Monday or Thursday would be lighter days. But we'll try it and we'll see how we do with that.
Well, the fourth Tuesday of July is the 27th.
Okay, I'm actually inclined to not meet in July or August, unless we have, an issue. Because it's hard for some people to, some people go away. Well, no one goes away, but some people might have vacation plans this year.
I'll
So
be
that might
gone
be a
in
problem.
August. But if our next meeting is going to be in September, I hope it's in person.
Well, I don't know that. I think we have to go with what the norm is for the town.
Well, I'm a volunteer for the food pantry at the Harts Hill Senior Complex, and we're going to meet in person starting in August.
And I certainly think that's great for individual committees, and I'm on committees also that are going to in person, but I think we go with the norm of what the town of Wakefield's, the town, as opposed to other committees. The finance committee, the town council, everybody is staying virtual for right now. We don't know what's going to happen. We have no idea. In the future, we will certainly be going to regular order and regular meetings, but for right now, I think we're just trying to see what's going on. And so for September, we'll pencil it in as a Zoom meeting and we'll see how we do. And if we get a request to demolish, or if something comes up for us, we will have a meeting in July and or August. You will get at least a week's notice of that. So
Okay, the fourth Thursday in September is the 28th. Just so you'll know.
okay.
And if I can't meet in August because I'll be on vacation anyway.
Well,
So,
good for you, G. That's great. Okay. Now in other matters, I have a whole bunch of little things to report on that didn't merit their own broad category. On the Hartshorn House roof, we know that $51,000 was approved at the town meeting for the roof. And I have asked I sent a letter to the director of the Department of Public Works to receive a copy of the bids for the work, because we want to make sure the work is done by a qualified contractor, as does the town, I'm sure. But our responsibility is to make sure that the work is done in compliance with the Secretary of Interior standards for rehabilitation. So I did send that letter. Haven't heard anything back. Also, we now have town council representatives. We never did before, although I understand that the town council has all of them take certain committees and commissions, and they are the representative of the town council for them. No one ever paid any attention to us before, but right now we actually have 2 town council representatives, Ed Dombrowski and Peter May. So just letting you know. Also, a request for information was made to the town as a formal request for information by a man named Alden Tom Ellis. Hi, Dan. Dan is connecting. Mr. Ellis is compiling Wakefield's Civil War Service, a history and roster. He has done this for a number of different Massachusetts towns. And what he does is he basically compiles all the information that's available online into one document. Then he self-publishes this. And anyway, the Historical Society has given him full cooperation and a lot of resources, but he sent a FOIA letter to the town requesting specific information, which I didn't really think existed. And actually, I was right, it didn't exist. Just to let you know about that. Dan is back trying to connect to audio. Now, I sent you guys all a bunch of information after our last meeting. Did you have a chance to look at that? Did you
Some of
find
it.
it helpful at all? Do you remember it? You don't. Okay. Well, I was going to give you more homework, but if you're not going to do your lessons, I don't know. I think especially for our newer members, it's good to know the scope of the commission and what it can do and what it can't do, and our overall goal of preservation. So I am going to search out and send you more links to documents and things like that, strategies that different organizations in the state have compiled to help us in our job of trying to preserve Wakefield. But you have to promise to at least look at it or print it, even print it.
I promise.
Okay. Dan is still trying to connect to audio. We have closed captioning at this meeting as well. You might have noticed. Okay, I was going to wait until Dan connected to audio and appeared to see what he thought about our proposed day of the week. But really the last thing that I wanted to check with you guys about was in terms with providing of greater visibility for the Historical Commission. I am going to propose that possibly we could have a Facebook page, which would, we would show different properties and a little history of the property. It's something that I've noticed that a couple of historical commissions in other communities have been doing, and I think it might be a good thing for us too. What do you think?
I agree, Nancy. I think it's very good visibility for us and for the rest of the town as well. I mean, I talked to a lot of people throughout the week about the town, neighbors and whatnot. And when I start going into some of the history, especially up in Greenwood, as Gene knows, there's a lot of history up here, and I think people want to know more. So, anything that you can put on Facebook would be very, very helpful.
I agree with that. I personally don't subscribe to Facebook, but I think information ought to be there.
You're not alone, Jean. A lot of people don't.
No.
My husband won't go near it,
No.
although he's very interested in knowing everything that's on it. But Okay, well, I think I'm going to do that. I'll start up a Facebook page for the Historical Commission, and if that goes well, maybe an Instagram post page as well.
I think that's an excellent idea, Nancy.
Yeah,
And
it does.
you're very creative, so I'm sure a lot of people would be interested in it.
Well, the town is in, the historic sites in the town are interesting, so I hope that we'll get a little bit of visibility, and it won't cost us anything. And
Good.
we'll see how we do. And that is really all I had on my list to discuss today. So it's a very short meeting. At least Dan was able to appear. I know that the other fellow, gosh, I'm forgetting his name. Another person was going to be coming to the meeting. So I wanted to hold on until 4:30, but I really don't see any point in doing that. I don't want to take up your time unnecessarily. So does anybody else have something they'd like to discuss?
Well, yes, referring to the town cemetery, I think there's some way we could get the town involved. There are two kinds of stones in that cemetery that are damaged. Sometimes the stone has fallen off the bottom of it, the base. Other times the stone is cracked or damaged. And I think we ought to get in touch with the town and see if they could put the stone back on the base, not ask them to repair broken things, but maybe they could just attach the stone to the base. And that would be a way of getting them to help us do some work that needs doing in the cemetery. How do you feel about that?
Well, from my perspective, although all the gravestones in the cemetery, in the old burying ground and Lakeside too, and Lakeside is separate from us, of course, but all the gravestones are important. However, the ones that are like 3 parts, there's like and they have a couple of like a marble base, not marble, but yeah, maybe it's marble, and then a central thing, and then the gravestone itself. You often, Jean, there are rods that go up through it. And so what has happened to them is the rods have disintegrated over time. And so they just kind of topple over.
In other words, they're just not setting on the base. There's a rod.
That's my observation.
Oh.
We have never, that's not our primary focus, because although they are old, they are not the slate stones that are our primary interest. So, and I don't know what how the town would feel about our request to put them back on their bases, because it's a more complicated process than I think maybe you envisioned. Maybe the next time you go out there, take another look at some of those guys.
Okay. But I think the town isn't going to do anything unless we request it. Maybe they could even give us some advice.
I think we have to, in the past, we have tried many times to cement or try to get the stones put back together again, at least a few of them.
Right.
Initially, and we had a workshop for repairing gravestones as well. And the vendors at that that particular workshop, used a clear epoxy, and that works for a few years, but inevitably it just goes away.
Right.
And then we've had a stonemason try to help us to put the stones together in a more traditional way. I think there's got to be a better way, and I think we need to research that. But you're right, Jean, we can't be the only people doing it. We need somebody, we need real working people doing it. It can't just be
Hi,
us.
this is Frank. I was finally able to join in just with audio only. How are you guys today?
We're doing good, Frank. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. I'm sorry to interrupt you midstream, but yeah, just if I could chime in, if you would like, I could consult my boss and kind of see what he thinks. I do know that at the present time, the clear epoxy is probably the best route, and I was kind of cutting in and out listening to you on inserting the metal rods, which is almost never a good thing with masonry if you want longevity, because of the oxidation process with moisture. The metal always expands, and it'll basically just make the stone explode over time, which will just have obviously an adverse effect on what we would want. So if you would like, I could consult him and then just basically feed you the information that I get.
Well, Frank, I think that would be a great idea. And I think you missed part of our discussion of what Jean had identified as a big problem is the three-part stones falling apart. And that's because they were originally constructed with the metal rods inside. And so exactly what you've said would happen. They explode is what's happening.
I think
Okay.
that's a good idea. Any advice you could give us would be helpful.
Definitely.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll take a look into that for you. No problem.
That's great. And for Frank and Dan, we had established that we'll probably be having our meetings on the 4th Tuesdays of the month going forward. Do you have a conflict with that, with any of your regular committees, Dan? Dan's getting out his schedule. He goes to lots of
At what,
meetings.
7:30?
Yes.
Yes.
We'll check, but we can always make room.
Okay. Okay. And I know you probably are hoping to get to Nova Scotia sometime during this summer.
At least after July 21st, it's closed till.
Okay.
You're liable to add on another 30 days. I don't know.
Oh my gosh. Well, just to let you know, we're not making a regularly scheduled historical commission meeting again until the end of September. So it'll be the 4th Tuesday in September. So now if there is something that happens that somebody's trying to tear something down, a demolition delay or demolition, a request comes in, then we will have a meeting in July and or August. But for right now, we're scheduling our next meeting for September. So that will enable you hopefully to get up to Nova Scotia without feeling like you're playing hooky.
Can I ask one question? This may seem far-fetched, but what would it be? I'm not the technical person, but to go into the old cemetery and take photographs of all the headstones and kind of make a virtual map of the whole cemetery how many stones are actually there?
About 1,000, and I've already taken pictures of all of them.
But could we make like a virtual map of it so somebody could go on there and basically get there and look almost, like you're there yourself?
Well, I think that's something to explore. I can't do that. I can't do that. We'd have to
Because
have somebody.
No matter what, these stones are just eventually going to crumble away. And,
I know.
this way, at least we'd have them the way they look today, at least.
And that's exactly what we did when we started the project of documenting them a good 20 years ago. We took them all in black and white snapshots, okay? And had to take them to the person to be developed and, back in the dark ages. So, but all of those do exist. And that's a good historical reference for us. So we can now see what they looked like 20 years ago. But
Yeah.
your point is well taken, Dan, and
Where
I,
everything is being digitized now, I should think that would be something that we could do, but like I said, I'm not the technical person. I don't know what it would require, but that would save what we have now at least.
yes. Yes. And we've, yes, and that we do have an ongoing project, but but not the whole map of clicking on it and then seeing it. That's, I think we'd have to get a vendor to do that. We'd have to hire someone to do that. It's something to think about for sure. Good idea.
Dan,
Okay,
here's a
any,
personal, Dan, here's a personal message for you. You're going to Nova Scotia, I'm going to the Canadian Rockies. And today the Prime Minister of Canada announced they're going to open the border in a few weeks, and they think it will be July 21st.
That's what they said last month too.
But the Prime Minister didn't. This time it was the Prime Minister.
Yeah, well, the Prime Minister of Canada is, I know.
okay, well, you all could go up to Iceland. The border's open there if you want to go see the volcano.
I love Iceland.
Okay, is there anything else?
By the way, Nancy, did you ever get that thing on the Civil War soldiers buried at the lakeside?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I was surprised how many are there.
Yes, the Sons of Union Veterans had given us that in the past, but it was great to have a comprehensive list. Yeah, there was one Confederate soldier buried in there, but no one has been able to find him.
Yeah. Well, I know Colonel Mosby used to summer, I guess, in Lois's old house on Parker Road. That's what they tell me General Galvin had said. And that was
he's the source of the rumor.
Colonel Mosby. He was
Oh,
the
General Mosby or General Galvin.
the
Both
gray
of them.
ghost.
Okay. Okay, if there's nothing else, we will adjourn the meeting. And just to let you know, if you, I think, Frank, you have had a problem receiving emails from me. So make sure that you put me in your address book or the Historical Commission so that you make sure you get the emails. I'm going to send
you're
you
in
all.
there.
I'm going to send you all my cell phone number in case you have a problem getting emails.
Okay, and have you sent any out since we kind of settled that issue, or?
I have the only time you seem to get emails is when they come from Sherry, who is the
Yeah.
and she is the town administrator's secretary, and she's a very, very
Mhm.
busy person. So we can't really rely on her to be our our go-between for our messages. So let's try to clear up this communications little snafu, and it might be just maybe my emails are being spam to your computer. Who knows?
I've checked all my folders, and you're not going to any of the other folders. So I'm not sure what the issue is. But if you say you sent an email since we thought we resolved the issue, I have not gotten one from you directly. So.
Okay, I sent one today, which had a copy of the minutes. So
Okay.
check that. And if you didn't get it, I get emails from you. So let me know, okay? And we can try different strategies.
Okay, will do. And if still having an issue, I can just send you my cell phone number just to make it easier for us to figure it out.
Sure, we can text.
Okay.
Okay, great. All right, everybody, thank you very much for coming.
One other
I hope
question, Nancy,
everyone has
quickly.
What?
Quickly. Do we know who our liaison with the town hall is? I know they named different people this year.
Yes, we have 2 liaisons. We had Ed Dombrowski and Peter May.
Okay.
an embarrassment of riches for us, Dan, we who have been ignored all this time.
Well, sometimes little birdies send messages out that
Oh, okay. Well, that's mysterious.
I hope everyone has a very nice summer, and I'll look forward to seeing everybody in the autumn.
Okay, Jean, we'll be having a historical
Thank you.
society meeting soon and
Good.
hopefully opening the museum up too.
Good.
So in person. Okay.
Right.
All right, everybody. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.